call Mr. Robot on our advanced PT part, and over here I can see the IP address, which is your 192.168.0.111 is the IP address of the server side. So what we're gonna do over here, we're gonna try one by one all the possibilities to figure out all the loopholes on the server side. So our major concern will be to find the exact vulnerabilities on the server side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to check one by one all the possibilities over here. So let's see. Over here, hello friends, if you are viewing, this is a normal message we have given by the Mr. Robot, and we have some commands which is prepare, FOCT, inform, questions, and wake up. And we have a simple root, FOCT, and roots. Sure. Do we can write the commands? Yes. Error not command type help for the list of command list. So these are the command which is given over here by the Mr. Robot. So should I do prepare?
You are not free. I'll write your job. I'll have 1% of the 1%. I'll make it debt. Give us a second. Between June 18th and 20th, we'll take back over $100,000 and give it to you. But I want to itch to delete the debt that holds you hostage. I will use the code.
Okay, so it was a normal commands which is given over there. So what is wake up? This machine is a series of your Mr. Robot web series, which depends on hacking. So what we're gonna do over here, we're gonna try to manipulate one by one all the things. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna use nmap as per our scan. And IP address. And side by side, I'm going to use Nicto also to identify if you can find some relevant data. The accessible protection header, okay, so normal thing, retrieve X powered by header, PHP, no CA directories found, okay. We can check all the possibilities over here one by one on the server side. And over here, we can see that the scan has been done with the nmap, and I can see port 22 is basically closed over here. Port 80, which is your open, which is your HTTP, Apache, and 443 as usual for the HTTPS, which is your SSL for securing your connection. And over here, we are waiting for the data relevant. So over here, we can see one by one all the things are getting. Apache mode negotiation is enabled with the multi-views, which allows that to easily brute force files. And over here, we can see they have found a directory called admin. Let's see what is in admin part. Okay, there was nothing in admin part, just a normal thing. So basically, I'm just waiting for the Nicto to scan completely, but I think Nicto has been stuck somewhere. So I'm going to use the burst over here. So let's copy the URL, just over here. Nicto is running, still running. Okay, in the backend, we can see. Let me find some license.txt file, some admin login page. Okay, let it be on the backend part. So the major concern which I'm going to do, I'm going to use a word list over here. Word list. And we're going to use the buster. And the buster, I can use any of the dictionaries which I want. For example, I'm going to use the medium one. Remove the be recursive. And as I know that in the backend there was an Apache the PHP was running. So I can write PHP over here for the file extension as per the data, and good for the directories, good for the files, and we can continue this one. You can see one by one all the things are coming over there. We got some files on the article server side. We can see the blogs, the video, the WP content, the JS, the audio, the admin, CCC, CSS, or the web WP includes. So one by one, we can see there was WP content. Let's see, it's a 200. So over here, you can try to stop because there are two applications which is running at the same time, which is your Nicto also and your Devastator. 18 requests per second will be a very small thing. Don't change the threads. So there are some files on the server side we can see one by one. These are normal files, which your admin files, your WP includes files. So WP content, let's see what is WP content over here. So I want to stop this one. Okay, in that there was nothing in the WP content file. So I didn't find something relevant over here, so I'm going to run this command again. The main important thing is the packet flowing part. The packet flowing part is not getting increased due to some problem with it. Because the crawling part is the important part where we need to identify each and everything on the server side. So we have some blogs, which is 403, which is 4. forbidden, some videos for images files, WP content, let's do ping command, 3 packets, and IP address. Just running. Yes, so over here we didn't find any relevant data. So we find some file over there which is your WP includes directory. It's forbidden. Some admin directory which is showing 200 but it was not opening over there. So what we can do, what we can try to enumerate further things. For example, these what WP includes and WP contents are the part of your WordPress. You have to think. For example, how I know this is a WordPress website. You can use the Webalizer or you can use the WordWeb. So the WordWeb has been done, but it didn't find any some regions over there because of there are some crawlings which is going on there in the backend process, and you can see. Let me do one thing. I guess due to some sufficient, let's try the Derbuster again because I'm not able to find anything relevant over there. So I'm gonna copy the URL again and gonna paste over here the number of threads according to my own need. Let's use user share word list. The buster we can use the medium one. That's good. $6. Whoa. There's one thing which I'm going to tell you. If your Derbuster is not running properly, you can use another tool which is your Derb search. I already downloaded that tool, which is my over here. Let's use Derb search. Okay, we can download over here from the GitHub script. Search Derb search GitHub. Okay. This is also one of the best tools for identifying the directories on server side. So let's use this one. Extract. Sometimes the applications on the Kali Linux might not work, so we can try to jump to the different tools. So over here, this is a Python tool. So I'm going to use derp search. Sorry, Python 3 is required. Yep. So they have given the syntax that we're going to use. For example, they have given trying to -u the URL. So -u the URL that we're going to give, and paste. And one more thing, you have to specify the extension with a capital -e with a PHP. So over here you can see they're gonna find all the words one by one.
Is it
In my
faster? Is it faster than Dubster? Sorry, Dubbuster or the same speed?
it's faster than derp search.
Dubbuster.
Yeah, you can specify the word list also because you can see it's gonna try its own word list. So let's see what we can look for. (403). This is our forbidden. Derp search is using his own word list, so it's gonna take some time. You can see over here. Uh, there are some Docker files also. Database. Okay, you can see over here they have given the dictionary.txt file. It's gonna check all the words over here one by one. This was a default dictionary, and how many words are there? wc-l. It was tick.txt. So there are around 6,000 words. You can see over here. Blacklist.txt. 2,400 words. Okay, that's good. So it's going to use his own default dictionary. So we can see they have find the admin directory and admin login directory, admin index. We can see one by one all the things that's now getting out.
We need to add login into it. 301, right?
Hmm.
200 is the one where admin question mark then login.
Yep. 301 is your redirection.
Yes, yes, but it is redirecting back to the same page.
Yes. Okay. So there is a admin.login page also.
Yeah,
We can try this.
Yeah.
Okay, there's nothing. There's an audio directory, there's a WP, okay, there's a blog directory. Okay, let it be like scan to be done. It's done only 50%.
Okay.
It's an audio, it's a blog. You can specify your own word list over here. CSS. It's an image directory over here. JS directory, intro directory, and what else we are gonna see? License.txt.
I can see that this automatically creates a direct file txt whatever we did. Now,
It's basically looking for the 400 directories and 300 directories.
no, I'm saying the output file.
Which
It can
one?
all it also actually makes a file also, the text file,
Hmm.
which actually has the output what we are currently working on.
Yeah,
Good.
it's gonna make it over here.
That's good.
Okay, there we find some relevant data for example, it's a readme is an old normal thing. There's a robot.txt file. Okay, that's great. Or we have a WP admin also. That's nice.
But it
Okay,
has server side protection. It will not gonna work. 500.
this is gonna not work. This is a setup.config file.
No, I'm talking about the WP admin above as well. 500. You see?
Which one? This one.
Yes, it will not work. No?
Mhm. But this one gonna work over here.
Okay.
So we have WP admin, WP content, WP content.php file, some WP includes directory. Let's see what you can find in the includes directory over here. This is also forbidden. It's saying WP admin, but it's saying it's similar. I guess this is similar.
Yes, that is what I was trying to tell you. It will not open because the server side error is giving.
We
You
have
know.
seen it's a database server side. Look at that.
So it is not. It will not let us go
Mhm.
there. Let's try robots.txt and the license.txt. Let's see.
Yeah, we can see this is a config.php file that was a local database server. So we can try robot.txt. Yeah, we can try the robot.txt. So in the robot.txt, we can see there are two files. So this is the user agent default one, which is a fsociety.dic, and there's a key 1 to key 3. So the very first thing over here in the Mr. Robot, it's all about animation part. So these are the files on the server side. So we can download these files on our local server. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create my new folder with the robot, and I'm going to use wget command. So HTTP, the IP address of the server, and the file name that I'm going to fetch. That's cool. Now let's try with the second one.
This will give us the key.
There are around 3 keys as they mentioned.
Yes.
There are 3 keys on the server side. So we have FOCT. What is exactly that? So let's see with
It's a
the
dictionary.
so this name. Okay. So let's see over here with the WC -L with the F of city. Let's try with this one. Okay, there are around 8 lakh of words over there. And what we have over here, we can see this one. Okay, there's a hash file. Let's try this one. Hash -identifier. And this is an MD5 hash. But what is the use of dictionary over here? Let's see. I was trying web, but over here I didn't find any relevant data according to the server side. So all I can see, there was a port 22 open, 80 port open, and 443 was open. And over here that we know that this was a WP content file, but it was not executing the file. So what I'm gonna do, let's try if I can find the login page of the file. Error establishing the database selection. So what could be the possibilities? Because in the derp search I didn't find any relevant database, relevant data on the server side. Just search for WP login.php if you can find this one. Okay. There was an error with establishing database. So I guess in the server there might be some problem. Okay, I'm gonna refresh the machine. Last and start it again. Yes, so there was an error on my database server. That's why. Let's see. There was a default on my machine. So that's why I was not able to simply access any of the files. So let's try with this one again with the WP admin directory. Yes, now it's working fine. And WP content. Okay, in WP content there was nothing. And WP includes. It was forwarded as per the that. So over here in the robot.txt we find a dictionary which contains some words. So and the total number of words they were using is around 8 lakh of words. Okay. So shall we open
set the configuration is
the configuration file? This was basically your forward 500 server-side error.
Okay.
So over here, what we're gonna do, we have a WP scan over here. So the most important part when you're simply using the server side, remember to extract the services one by one. So our major concern would be to identify each and every services. So in this scenario, what are we going to do? We're going to try to extract more further things. For example, I'm going to use, we have username and we have password. Mm, so let's see what is on that password. So there are some words over here. There are lots of words. So I guess there are some repeated words also. We can see there are some repeated words. Hmm? Okay, it's dash. So what I'm going to use over here, I'm going to use a short command. What is the use of short? Short command is basically used to unify the dictionary, so you can say. Write shorted concatenations, all the files and standard. So over here you can use ignore the leading blank, dictionary order, ignore cases. I'm going to use -u, which is your unique, to check the strict ordering. So are we going to use the unique function because we're going to find all the words which is different from the other words, and those are not repeated words. So I'm going to use short -u, the file name, and the file path. So we're going to use it as name. I'm going to name this one robot.txt. So if I do ls, I can see the robot file is over there. So we can see wc, word count, length of the packet, and I can see now the words are total 11,451. So that's a good thing. So what are we going to do with this dictionary? So we have a dictionary over here which contains some words regarding to the server sides. And look, these are on the sequence now. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. That's why I use the unique function. So over here, we're gonna perform a brute force attack over here to understand how the authentication bypass works. So for that case, I'm gonna use a word. I'm gonna use my verb suite. So let's use temp file. Use default. Okay, we're gonna go to the proxy side, and we're gonna use regenerate certificate as we're gonna capture the HTTPS packets.
Do we have to always like every time you have to do this registration certificate whenever you start Docker?
Yes, because this is a free version, so that's why I have to do this one.
No, I have already done it in my machine. So whenever I'm going to use Burp, do I have to use this again or not?
Yes, you have to, because you have to capture the if you don't, there will be no possibilities to capture the HTTPS packets.
Every time means like if I already did it once, do I have to do it again every time before using Burp?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So we can go to the network part. Let's do the certificate part. There was a time that if you install a certificate, there will be a validation of 7 days. But nowadays they have changed their criteria. So whenever you have to do the penetration testing part, you have to simply use this one.
Okay.
So over here we have a proper username and password. So I'm gonna use my intruder over here first of all. But first we need to capture this packet. So I'm gonna specify parameter 1 and parameter 2 and insert one. So login. So over here we can see we have a proper request over here which is given. So I'm not going to I'm going to use my intruder today. So request to send to the intruder and drop the packet. So over here We can see the host IP address and the port number, positions. There are lots of payloads that we can specify. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to clear all the tags because we're going to attack on the specific payload. So that would be my first parameter. We're going to try with the first one. Through the first one, we're going to identify the second one, which is my password. So I'm going to use the attack type sniper because this is a single payload. And on the payload side, we can see there is only one payload, simple payload type, and we're going to load the payload. So I'm going to use desktop, Mr. robot.txt as we have created. So there are around 11,000 some words. So number of threads according to yourself, you can increase your threads or the number of processes. So as you can see over here, you will see the same length. There's nothing difference. But in the back end, you can see there are some things running in the lower part. It's going to try all the possibilities. But the major thing you can understand, all the queries are 200 over here.
Yeah, but 200 status represent that no, everything is okay, right?
But you can see the response code.
Yes, response code, yeah. But basically, is there any other way to change the status code according to the response which we receive?
That is your HTTP manipulation part. You can change the status code according to your own need.
How come? No, I'm talking about in a normal scenario. Let's say we're using Burpsuite, right? So what happens is, it is the login and password is coming as, it's obviously it's not working, right? The first one, this login 000, it's not a login proper.
Mm-hmm.
So, but its status coming is 200.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see that 200 means there is no error as per the user side or client side. But then again, we have been denied access. So there's something like this cannot come any kind of an error which actually has a denied access status.
For example, let's talk about over here. If I write my name Partho over here, it's gonna execute the Partho. It's gonna check. It's gonna check from the database server.
Yes.
Which will give me that the Partho was executed from the server side with the 200 response code. But in the real scenario, the Partho doesn't exist.
Yes.
So over here, the query can be executed from the client side, and it can be validated from the server side. So you can see that there is a 200 which each and everything, but we can examine the thing with the help of length part. Through the length, we can examine that the part is correct or not. So let's try with this one. Okay, the 6,000 has been created. Are you lost? No, I'm not. Okay, let's try with. So as you can compare, sir, that there are 200 request code. 200. So, but you have to examine with the maximum length of the packet. The maximum length of the packet means the content has been executed from the server side, and you can see 5473, 5474, 5475 are the usernames, which is Eloit over here.
Okay.
Let's see over here. Do we have admin over there on the server side? No, we don't have admin. Okay, let's try the default password. Invalid username. So I read my name Partho and some junk words. Invalid username. But when I try Elite and anything, it's gonna say the password you have entered is username Elite is incorrect. So it means the user Elite is the part of the server. So we can see the request code has been completed in sequence way, in a proper way. This part is also works in your OWASP top 10, which is A2's broken authentication and session management. So what we're gonna do over here, I'm gonna stop this one. Yeah, it's done properly. So we can see the username is Elite. So what I'm going to do over here, I'm going to go to the directory over here, and now I'm going to clear the tag, and I'm going to put Elite over here. And the second thing what I'm going to do, is to perform a brute force attack on the password parameter. So we have identified the username Elite. Add tag. I'm going to use the same attack, which is your sniper attack for a specific part, and the same dictionary over here. So and the number of threads. So let's start over here. But in the real scenario, if you're performing a brute force attack in an application, they will going to block your request in some of the parameters.
Tell me one thing, how do we, in the cases where we have only access to three, where we can only try 3 times, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do we normally break those ones?
Okay, there was a question that asked me. So there was an answer given by one of my students. He said, when we have 1, 2, 3, or 4 requests to accept after the false one, so there will be a block after you can see after a period of time, 1 hour or 2 hour or 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, you can try the same thing again.
Yes, but it will take a lot of time, and context. And now I think even I don't know. I faced this. Maybe I'm not 100% sure. But what happens is that let's say if you are trying to do it like this, let's say, then what happens is first of all they are breaking the breaking period. It keeps on
Mm-hmm.
increasing. Let's say first it will wait for 60 seconds, then it will wait for 2 minutes, then it will wait for 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So the time keeps on increasing.
So on the specific time, you can try to check on other things. So over here, the main objective is to identify each and every services. So we can see the request has been completed, and let's check the. See what I can see over here. The request 5627 is showing me a status code 302. 302 means the client request has been redirected to a different resource and it has been executed. So let's see the response code. The response code, we can see 302 found, which is your website. So over here we can see the password that we got is our ER280652. Let's try to log in this one over here. And we are logged in properly, we can see. So if you search for the OWASP top 10 methodology, there are various techniques to bypass the broken authentication. I will say broken authentication can be a part of your login part of application bypass. There are various techniques that can be performed one by one. So we have to understand what is 200 and 302 request code. So when we get a proper response part. So let me cancel this one. And over here I can see we are on the dashboard. So which is our WordPress, you can see one by Elliot Anderson. So I guess if I talk about the WordPress is a CMS, content management system, which is basically useful for your website design and your website content management part. So over here, what could be the possibilities an attacker can execute any kind of attacks on the here? Means if I am an attacker, I have to check for I have to examine the application first of all. What exactly the application perform? What is the main objective of these applications? So we're gonna check all the things one by one. So example, we can see there's an add new.
We can also check directly from the Google by asking about the vulnerabilities or the exploits for WordPress.
Press.
Or can we use WP scan? It will not show the WordPress vulnerability, right?
It's gonna show you the vulnerable plugins and the themes.
Plugins.
Yes. So what if you're trying to penetrate a WordPress website, you have to use the WP scan.
But tell me one thing. Previously, when we were trying to do it, we were not able to find anything, right? Did you try WP scan? Sorry, I joined late, so I did not know. Did you try WP scan in the starting when we find out WP?
In my 19.3 version, the WP scan is not working. You can see over here. So I'm gonna change my environment today
Okay.
because it was not able to connect, and I'm searching for this error. I didn't find something relevant. But you can see if you're trying to search, if you're using the WP scan, it's gonna use it for finding all the loopholes. Let me show you one thing. I already have Kali 2.3. So I'm gonna use my WP scan sudo su. So let's use WP scan fn update. So I can use WP scan -u URL HTTP live purpose. Oh man, each and every thing has a different thing. So you can see the scan has been done, and through the WP scan, what I can find, I can see some headers, normal header Apache. We can see there's a robo.txt, xml.rpc. There are some files over here which are on the. We can use Rapid7 auxiliary scanners. But we have to simply use what is exactly this means. Over here, you can see readme.json file, WordPress files. and the most important thing, the WordPress version. But over here, when you're using WP scan, -help, the most important thing is your -e enumerate, which is your VP, your vulnerable plugins, your AP, your all plugins, your P, popular plugins, your VT. So you can use all the things one by one. So if I'm using -e, VT, AP, sorry, it was a question. It's gonna check all the possibilities over here one by one. See, now it's checking for the vulnerable themes. Sometimes there are vulnerable themes where no themes found, no WordPress database API token given. As a result, vulnerability data has not been output. You can get a free API token with the 50 daily request. When you're using WP scan, remember one thing: you have to use the API token to authorize your connection, and you can sign in over here. But most of the cases we find some relevant data. But in this scenario, we're gonna use the WordPress file. So I'm gonna close this one because it's gonna consume my memory a lot. So what I'm gonna look over here, we're gonna look for WordPress. You can see previous description, but WordPress reverse shell. As an attacker, how can I get a reverse shell on the WordPress websites? So we can use. There are lots of websites. You can see 7 layers, other websites. A reverse shell is a mechanism that allows you to have the server shell by exploiting the web server. Okay, that's not good. Okay, log into your WordPress, go to the appearance editor. Okay, then simply on the sign in choose a header.php file. Okay, you can change the code header to the reverse code. Okay, with the pen test monkey. I'm not good. Okay, then what? The netcat. Press the update file, and then you need to start listening service on the port 8090 as per your data, and you will get a shell. Okay, that's it. Login. Let's start uploading the web shell. There are various techniques that can be followed over here. So they are using plugin over here. Shell plugin by Lectress. Okay, so I already have the file over here. So I already have this one. So we're gonna use this PHP file. So it's already have my IP address, which is 192.168.0.110. I'm gonna copy the entire source code as per the instruction. That is ifconfig. My IP is 110. Okay, so over here it says go to the appearance, then go to the editor. You can use any extra HTTP headers you want. So let's use 404. So I'm gonna change my code over here with the other code and save. So the file has been saved successfully. But now the most important thing is to execute the server file. So for that case, I have to check one by one all the possibilities over here.
No, but we have done it right. We have used burp suit or burp search, derp search. There will be a 404 error must have come for some of the directory. We can execute that one, right?
Yes. So I guess in the search we didn't find the 404.
Yeah, but we can try to look at it. Maybe there were some 403 though I know they were there.
403 there was, but there was not 404.
So can we use it 403 as well? Maybe we
No,
can create
no,
another
no,
4.
no, no. Because the 403 is a different thing and the 404 is a different. 403 is forbidden and 404 page not found.
Okay.
So I guess over here, where we were. Okay, so we were in the Apache editor. So 404, which is your select theme to edit. Okay, it's on the theme editor.
Mm. 2014, right? Yes.
2014. So let's look for the data they are using. Okay, simply execute the command. Let's use different website where you can find something relevant data. Okay, it's going to the plugin, upload plugin, browse plugin, and what you can do, you can install reverse plugin.zip file. Okay, that was a PHP code. Nice. Blogs helpful for us. So WordPress, they're using Metasploit for reverse. That's good. Okay, appearance, editor, they have done to the 404. Upload the file and the browse the file URL to run the injected PHP query. So over here, it was saying like this: the WordPress WP content themes 2015 404. Simply WordPress reverse shell. So where we were on the WP admin part, and it was saying WordPress. So WordPress WP3 skin, we have to examine all the things one by one. Okay. I got it. So we can simply use this content file, WP login. Let's see what can happen. So the file was on the WordPress WP content theme 2020, and the file name was PHP 4.0.4 as per the data. So 2020. They were around 2014, 2013 also. So let's run the command and let's see what can happen over here. You have the shell. Okay, I didn't use the netcat, I guess. Netcat numeric listening verbose port with the port 44448. Let's try this one. Yeah, now we have a proper shell. The most important thing is to understand the file path. Think about this one. If I was in WP admin, right, in the theme editor, If I'm editing this file type 404, theme name was 2015, but how suppose I will know this one? Where should I have to run path? So some of the information getting from social medias will be helpful for us. And over here we have a proper shell on the server side. So what we can do, we can try to look for got milk. So we have a proper shell with the username daemon. So I'm going to use which? Do you have Python on the server side? Yes, we have Python. So Python. Yes, and we have a proper shell on the server side with the user daemon. So pwd, we are on the root directory. So over here we have a proper shell on server side, but we have a specific user which is daemon. Okay, export term xterm environment. So what we can see over here, we can see in boot, dev, etc, home directory, lib directories, some other files over here. Okay, let's check one by one all the things what we can find over here. So cd, let's go to the home directory. Okay, so we can see there in the home directory we have there's a user root robot which has read, write, and execution permission. So we have the read and execution permission. Okay, so let's move to the robot directory. Over here we can see there's a key 2 with the 3, and we have read permission of this MD5 hash, but we don't have the permission to read this file because the root user has the permission. Robot user has the permission. So what I'm going to do over here, let's check this one. But we have MD5 hash. Okay, this was basically robot with the MD5 hash. So let's copy this one. Let's look for hash killer. Let's go to hashkiller.com, I guess. So let's see. Submit the request. And over here I can see that was a normal password with the ABCD given. And this was basically user robots. So when you have the password of the users, so what we can do next, we can simply switch user. Clear. So I'm going to do sudo -l as my favorite command. Sudo -l to take the permission. Okay, we have sorry user robot may not run sudo on the Linux command. So in this machine, we're going to introduce your new vulnerability, and that would be our not this one. Yep, exploiting sudo executable files. SUID, which stands for the set user ID. It's a Linux feature that allows users to execute the file with the permission of a specific user. For example, the Linux ping command is also used for requires root permission in order to open raw socket programs by making the ping program as SUID with owner root. We can see one by one all the things over here. So SUID is a feature that you will only probably actually enhance the Linux security. So let's use executable exploiting vulnerable SUID executable files to get the root access. We're going to use the find command to specify the sudo user table with the UFS. And what I can see over here in the back end, there's an nmap which is running as sudo executable files. So ls-all. So let's try to enumerate nmap privileges skeleton. Pentest block. Let's see this one. Or GT Goblin. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to use the GT Goblin also. So it can be used to break out the restriction environment by spawning the interactive shell, non-interactive shell, netcat, file upload, file download, write and read, sudo executables. Okay, if the binary is allowed to run super user by sudo, it doesn't drop the equivalent privileges. The interactive mode available on the version 2.0 to 5.2.1 can be used to execute shell commands. Okay, and what else we have over here? A specific username with a root with a parameter 400 with a print to execution part. Okay, so as per the data, nmap version 4.5. Okay, so what is the nmap version over here? Which is 3.8.1. Okay, so I guess over here it's saying nmap interactive mode, or we can do nmap as such to get a proper response. So first of all, I'm going to use nmap help to check what is interactive. First of all, interactive mode, go to the interactive mode, then press help. Okay, nmap interactive. What we have over here? Okay, that's right, help. So we can see run shell command given in the forward again as such. So what you can do as per the data they have given. Go to the interactive mode, -sh. So it's getting a shell call on server side. So let's do sh. And we are in. Who am I? I'm root. So the key over here is the normal key. There's nothing, but the most important part is to understand how the service works. And over here, these machines have, this was a difficult one, I guess, because the dub store was not running, so we have to use the dub search over here. Then we have the WordPress login page. Then we use the verb suite with the broken authentication to server-side execution. Then we have the WordPress publication part, how we can get a reverse shell on the WordPress. Then there's a lot of things over here in the machine part.